all my agent told me was like, hey, this coach is gonna challenge you, but you should be good. Close out game. The first play of the game was a oop, off the tip, reverse. Y'all invested reverse. I haven't told many people, but I was so upset at Obra for not playing me. He put me in like the end of the third quarter. The whole game I didn't play. I was just sitting there, hot, fuming. Once I dunked it, all I hear, like everything went quiet. Like I just heard a pop sound, and my wife came with me in the ambulance. She said when we were driving to the hospital, I woke up and I tried to go back in the game.
Welcome back, EuroLeague fans, to another edition of the Crossover with Joe Arlauckas. I spoke with my today's guest last year during the playoffs, and he asked me when he was going to be on the show. I told him I'd make it happen, and here he is, one of the best long-range shooters in the game, Mr. James Nunnally from Partizan. How are you, my man? Happy New Year, brother.
Happy New Year's to you, man. Thank you for having me on the show.
Man, hey, thank you for wanting to be on the show. I like the fact that guys are starting to come up to me and do. You know, you're one of the guys that came up and said, "Hey, man, when you gonna have me on the show?" That makes me feel great, man. As someone who used to do what you do, now I'm trying to transfer, into another world.
Man, and you do it well. You do this this segment of life well as you did on the court, man.
2 double weeks to start the New Year's.
Oh man, 2 tough ones too.
2 tough ones. Yeah, let's get right into it, man. You know, this is all about you and family and growing up, and you're from what I call the other coast. You know, I'm a New Yorker, born and bred. You're from the other side. You know that strange 3-hour difference where like the NFL games go off at 6, and you know the Monday night games go off at 6 or 10 in the morning on Sundays.
That's the best coast, we call it.
Yeah, we call ours the East. You call yours the best, right? Yeah. I know. Hey, I love it out there, man. I love it. It's beautiful. It really is.
Nothing like it, man. I'm blessed to be able to be, born and raised there. I have love for the East Coast as well. Got a lot of friends from the East Coast, and it's all love.
You spent. Let's talk about a little bit like high school growing up when you started playing. I read that you played all those sports. You played baseball, you played football, I think, like most athletes did in the States back in the day. What was the one sport that you excelled at that you probably better at today than you would be if you weren't playing basketball?
I was not to be cocky or arrogant or anything, but I was really good at football. Baby, I was really good at football.
What position you play?
I was quarterback and safety.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that was back. We always had to go. You always had to go defense and offense.
Yeah, you had to. Well, we had to go defense because we had to play both sides because where I grew up, staying eligible was pretty difficult for some. So we would start with about 35, 40 guys, and then we'd be down to 17 to 20 when the first round of grades came out. But football, I grew up, liking football more than basketball. But then I, fell in love with basketball. I watched my older brother play. I was just his shadow. I would follow him around. So, he was highly recruited. And so I was like, man, I want to play basketball like my brother.
Okay. And you guys played against each other, didn't you?
You play against each other in college. Yeah, we did. Yeah.
You were at Pacific, right?
No, he was at Pacific. I was at UC Santa Barbara.
Oh, that's right. You were at Santa Barbara. He was at Pacific. My bad. And how was that game? I mean, especially since he's older, brother, you're following him around, like trying to follow his shoes.
Man, it was cool. We stayed like when they came down to play us, we hung out the whole night before the game and just had a good time. A lot of my family came. I think like 25 of our family members came and watched the game. Yeah, it was fun. It was exciting.
You talked about growing up where you lost people along the way, so to speak, with grades and stuff like that. Did you grow up in a difficult neighborhood? I'm trying to put it politically correct.
Yeah, it was a difficult neighborhood.
But you could have went a different way also. One of those type of neighborhoods?
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah, Stockton, California is not a, easy place to grow up at, but
Right.
it gave me the character I have now. Looking back on it, it's those split decisions. You could, go left, or you can go right, and I'm blessed. I had, a mom who really cared and made sure I stayed out of trouble, and a brother who, who guided me as well. I had good friends, but there was times where I didn't do the right thing, and I could have went down that
Right.
wrong path. I've
Exactly.
lost some friends um, along the way, but I'm blessed to be from raised in Stockton.
Right.
It taught me a lot about life early.
You still go back there often? Like, and your family still there?
Yeah, my mom, my brother, a few cousins, a lot of friends are there.
Dude, so you ball out in college and do your thing at Santa Barbara, and every guy's dream, obviously, when they get to that point, is getting drafted, and that didn't actually go well for you, so to speak. You were, let's say you were lucky enough as I was when there was still 13 rounds of the draft back.
13 rounds, that is nuts.
Yeah, no, my bad. There was 13 rounds. When I got drafted, there was 7. I got drafted in the 4th. So I did make the draft, although nowadays it doesn't really count. It's the 4th round. I think I was a 72nd pick or something like that, and I was actually drafted by the Kings, which is
Oh, that still counts. That counts.
yeah, I guess it counts. What was that? What was that like for you? I mean, was it? Were you expected to? Did you expect to be drafted? Did you get any information? Were you sitting around
Man,
waiting for your name to be called?
I had 3 workouts with the Kings actually.
Oh, you did. Okay.
Yeah, so like I thought there was a chance where I could like go like in the late second, like one of the last picks if they had it. But then it happened, which I didn't get drafted. But one of my best friends and teammates got drafted in that same draft, Orlando Johnson.
Okay.
Um, he got drafted, so I was happy for him, but I was like, damn, I didn't get drafted. What am I gonna do now? Like I was kind of like hurt. Um, But I had to realize, I didn't work hard enough in
Uh-huh.
college. Like while I was in college, I started after college, like working
Right.
harder, focusing more onto what I wanted to do. But I think that gave me the hunger uh, to pursue my career and to get where I wanted to get to, and to accomplish what I wanted to, and it helped me a lot.
You think the lack of work ethic came from maybe you not being sure that you were going to go, and you just kind of like, I mean, because
I
it's
think,
got, I mean, I know you said he's your best friend, he's your boy, but that's got to kill you to see your boy get drafted and you're not. I mean, come
I
on.
mean, like I don't know if I'm gonna get drafted, but for sure I knew he was gonna get drafted. Like he
Oh,
was
you knew?
really,
Okay,
really
all
dominant.
right,
Yeah, I knew he was gonna get drafted. So I was happy for him.
okay,
Like
all right.
100% happy for him. Like we're roommates, lived next door to each other in college, so it's like we had a great relationship. Um, I think the lack of work ethic came from me just being, a kid in college, wanting to have fun,
Enjoying
stay
it.
up late, party. I was enjoying college and not really getting those extra hours in the gym like I should have been.
They always say like life is a bitch, and sometimes after you went undrafted, you had, let's say, an interesting 4 years of your life coming
Man,
from Santa Barbara, not being drafted, not having any clarity on what your future is going to be like, which is I think the hardest thing for anybody coming out of college that's not 100% sure they're going NBA. But man, you just got kicked around and like torn down, so to speak. You went to Greece, the play in
yes,
Greece, where
left Greece.
someone told you probably weren't going to get paid, and
No, they didn't tell me. I just didn't get paid,
you
and
just
after,
did.
I kept going to like the office, the general manager, and I was like, "Yo, when am I getting my money?" They're like, 4 or 5 days, you'll have it next week. The next week comes around, and they were they were just, they were lying. So I was like, all right, let me get my ducks in order because I'm about to make a move.
Right.
And so one night, or after I practiced one day, I was like, hey, I need my money. Like I didn't say it that nice, but I was like, oh, I need my fucking money. And I practiced. I dunked on somebody, finished practice, and then the next morning, my agent, or that night, my agent was like, "Hey, we're gonna reroute your ticket back from May or June to tomorrow." I was like, "Can you get packed up?" I was like, "Yep, I get packed up." Packed up. 3 a.m. rolled around. Got a taxi to the airport.
I got you for 11 teams in 8 years. And look, I don't even have Kavala on there on my list.
Really?
I got you Estudiantes, Maccabi Assad,
Yep.
Felice Scandone, Fenerbahce, Minnesota Timberwolves, Houston Rockets, Olympia Milano,
Yep.
Shanghai Sharks,
Yeah.
Fenerbahce again, New Orleans
Yep.
Pelicans, and Maccabi Tel Aviv, and now Partizan.
Wow. Yeah. That's a lot of teams. That's a lot of. That's a lot of flights.
And that's a lot in just 8 years, too.
Wow. Yeah. A road well traveled.
And so, you know, I just went over the team, so I don't want to get like deep into that. But I guess you went to Italy and you got kind of a break in Italy. You came up with the league MVP, and and I'm just wondering, like, my thing is, how does a guy like you that's been kicked around so often, doesn't get drafted, whatever, you went from country to country, 11 teams in 8 years, all this stuff. Obviously, this out before. And how the hell does Zeljko Obradovic find you and sign you? And not only does he sign you to his team, but he signs you, of course, in something where he's building a winning culture. How does that opportunity come? I mean, I know you played well in Italy the year before, and I know I've read in your articles that kind of like made you want to play basketball again, gave you like a new look on life, I guess, as far as your profession is concerned. But how the hell does Zeljko find you?
I mean that Avellino, I was hooping. Avellino, it was a great team too. I had good
Uh,
vets. I had Marty Lunin, Marcus Green, Alex Acker. I had good vets, and we had other good players on the team as well, like Joe Ragland. Um, we I don't know, I was like one of the only new players on the team who had just went to the Final Four, the year before the championship. So I was like, damn, he wants to add me, huh? And I had honestly, I'm gonna tell you, I had no idea who he was. No idea.
I love it. I love it.
All my agent told me was like, hey, this coach is gonna challenge you, but you should be good. That's all he told me. Exact words. I was like, all
Well,
right. And then
and then hello Zeljko.
yes, met with Maurizio Garradini in Vegas and
Maurizio.
signed the contract.
And again, I mean, your year in Italy. I guess I want to know, like, after 4 years of struggles, I mean,
Hmm.
I'm a stupid. The stupid question here is, how many times did you doubt yourself? You know what I mean? How many times were you doubting like your journey? But
I mean,
I'm known for asking stupid questions, so I might as
no,
well
it's
I'll
not a
just throw
stupid
it out
question.
there.
I honestly, I never like just doubted myself. I just always like wanted to raise the bar each year. I just wanted to just go up, step up each year. That was my goal, just go get paid more each year. That was my
Right.
goal. Like when I was first starting out, and
But I mean,
uh,
but was that happening though? Because you were going from summer leagues to NBA teams to
yep.
you went to Estudiantes for a minute. You said I can't really see that your pay rate. I can't see you getting pay raises by being kicked around. All over.
From Ashdod and Studiantes to Avellino was a big increase. I'll tell you
There was
that.
a big increase.
Yeah, it was a big increase for the level I was at. So I was excited about that.
Okay, okay.
And then once we got from Avellino to Fenner, it was You
we're
know, you're at a
good.
certain level. You're at a certain level. So
and now you don't want to look back, do you?
no, there's no looking back.
The only time we look back now is to remember those days and enjoy what we have now.
100%, and to be grateful, for the struggles early.
Exactly, man.
But coach, playing for him and building a relationship with him, it was tough. Like the first year playing for him is tough, as you know.
Oh yeah,
it's tough. Because he has to build that trust. You have to earn his respect. He's played at the highest level, in Europe. He's played in the Olympics. He's coached the best players. It's like, he's seen everything. So, all right, what are you gonna do to be different or to stand out or to even get his respect? So
it kills you sometimes when you play for him, because like sometimes you just want to tell him he's wrong, but he's got so much with him behind him that you can't question him.
Or if you question it, he says something and then, oh damn, I'm wrong.
Look, man, I'll tell you a great story about Zeljko that a lot of people probably know it already. But when I hated Zeljko at first, man, I was like, because we had a players coach, so to speak, before Zeljko. It was like one of those guys where you could talk to him, you could negotiate with him. Hey man, we're tired tomorrow, man. Better not to practice. And he sometimes he listened to you, sometimes he wouldn't, but he didn't have that push. You know what I mean? And then Zeljko comes and we're all like, yeah, Zeljko Obradovic, because he had just beat us the year before in the EuroLeague when he won with Juventud. He knocked us out. We were the favorites. And so we're like, yeah, we got Zeljko, man. He showed up. I was like, after 3 days, I was like, man, get this guy out of here. So we start the league poorly. We have a team meeting with the president, and the president walks in like 20 minutes late. And the president starts to talk, and Zeljko steps up and he says, Mr. President, before you start, I have 2 things. He's like, number one is you never, ever, ever get rid of one of my practices again without letting me know ahead of time, because I have a schedule that I'm on, and then it's in he said, number 2, if you meet with my players, you be here 10 minutes before my players show up, and don't ever disrespect my team again by showing up late. Ooh. And man, I looked over, I'm like, that's the dude I want to play for. That's the guy I want to play for, because I know when push comes to shove, he's got my back. And that's what Zeljko is all about for me.
100%. But it doesn't feel like that in certain moments. But he does have his players back, and I respect that tremendously.
He's one of the only coaches I played for that's actually able to distinguish the difference between those 4 white lines, what happens inside and what happens outside. And I mean, I've always said he's become one of my best friends, just because even though for 3 years I couldn't stand the man. All the time.
I think 3 years is that hump. So after the 3rd year, at the 4th and 5th and 6th, whatever, you understand him.
Exactly. But
you just need you need one more year.
But you're always surprised by what he might come up with. You're always surprised. Man, you guys had a squad, dude. I mean, that squad was sick. Yeah, my boy, Ali Muhammad. But yeah, to me, it's always Bobby Dixon.
Man, Bobby Dixon. Hey, shout out to him, man. He was a great vet to have and to be around.
Dude, I love that.
He made it easier.
He's probably one of my favorite podcasts of all that I've done. His story is crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah, his story is crazy. Yeah, after when he told me about it, I was like, wow. Yeah, I didn't know you went through all this.
Yeah. It's nuts, man. It's like I just sat there. I remember I did it. It was back before COVID, so I did it in a hotel, and I was able to sit down and face to face with him and see the emotion, which was it was just great. It was great. But you had Vesely, Datomi, Slukas, you had Bogdanovic when Bogdan was just, I mean, he was a kid.
He looked like a kid.
he still kind of looked like like a kid, though.
Man, yeah. Until you hear him talk.
Talking smack or what?
No, he just the deepest voice in the world.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Dude, but coming into this team, were you concerned about playing time? Were you concerned about what your spot would be? I mean, coming from where you're coming from, I keep going back to that because
Avellino,
I
yeah.
I think that the journey that we all have, it goes unrecognized sometimes. People just see you for where you are now, and they don't see what you had to go to get there. And what's your mental process coming into a team like Fenerbahce, who's aspiring all of a sudden for a European championship?
I was like, well, like before that list you mentioned, before those teams, I was on the Hawks and I was on the Sixers.
Right,
So I was like, hey, I'm an NBA player. Like I can play anywhere. That's how my mentality was. Like I can
right.
play anywhere. And I didn't really know who those guys were. Like honestly, I didn't watch the Final Four before. I didn't really even like I didn't really care to watch it. Like Ivan Buva,
Yeah.
he had invited me to watch the Final Four. And I was like, no, I'm good. I'm gonna eat some of his pasta.
Which
That's about
which Final Four was it? What year?
it was the final. It was Avellino when I was on Avellino because we were teammates.
Who was in that Final Four? I'm trying to remember.
It
I'm
was
terrible.
Finner. It was Finner,
Oh,
Cheska,
okay.
uh,
Real Madrid.
Basconia,
Oh, okay, Basconia. Yeah,
and I forgot the 14.
had to be Real Madrid, right?
No, Locomotive.
Oh, that okay. That year. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that was my year. I was in Avellino in May, and Buva was like, "Hey, you want to come watch the game?" I was like, no, I'm not watching. I'm gonna go.
That's
I
when
had no
that's
idea.
that's when Zeljko went crazy and ran out on the court against Basconia. Like, it,
See, I had no idea about any of that. So
yeah,
I
yeah.
went to a team I had no clue about, and then I watched Serbia versus the United States in the Olympics, and so I was like,
Okay,
okay, these are my teammates. Let me watch, see how my teammates are, like Bogdan
right.
and Kalinic. Let me see what the hell they are. And
And talking about your first experience in Europe, man, like between Greece, between Italy. I know they were quick ones, but it's like you hit like Spain, you hit Italy, you hit Greece, you hit three countries in a short period of time. What for a guy that never even knew those places existed to go in
mm-hmm.
there and live in there and having not good experiences, man, what makes you want to come back again other than money?
My you know what my experience in Ashdod was great. I loved
Mm,
Ashdod and like that whole experience and like the how the club treated me and how they treated like my wife who was my girlfriend at the time. She
right.
came. She got to ride on the bus with us to away games and like they treated us really good. Like our team, I had great teammates. Um, so that experience like was like all right. I didn't like Spain. I didn't like Estudiantes. Um,
Man, you didn't like Madrid and you like to go out and have fun?
No, I didn't really want to go out because the basketball wasn't right. If the basketball is not
Okay.
right, I don't want to. I didn't. It was like I was like, oh, I'm over this place.
Madrid's the
And then
best nightlife around, man.
the coach, we had one game a week, and the coach was like, hey, I want to play you. You're one of our best players. I want to play you 22 to 25 minutes a game. I'm like, why? We have one game a week. Play, keep me in.
Now you would have
Keep me
loved
in.
playing. You would have loved playing when I played. We played 38, 40 minutes a game.
Loved it.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
love it.
Man, I just, you know,
That's every player. Every player thinks they can play 38 minutes and 40 minutes, but you realistically it's hard.
yeah.
It's
But
tough.
we practiced twice a day too, no matter what. It
Yeah.
didn't matter when we were there. So
Oh man,
so
I couldn't imagine.
so with Fed, and all of a sudden you find yourself in the playoffs against
Hmm.
Panathinaikos, right?
Yep.
And you guys sweep Panathinaikos. That's another huge story we won't get into, but now all of a sudden, man, you're coming from all this stuff, man, and you got a ticket to the Final Four, and on top of it, I mean, not too many people get to play the Final Four in their home court well, their home city, I should
Ooh.
say.
Yeah, that was great. Great experience.
I mean, that was just that's it's got to be. I mean, how many times do you like go to sleep at night, close your eyes, and just kind of look back and man, I'm either lucky, I'm fortunate, I'm good. I don't know what it is, but I'm just glad to be here.
I was just thinking like, man, we made some great decisions. Me and my wife and my agent, like we made some great decisions. Like
I
Like
mean,
going to that team is like who had aspirations. The championship was the only thing that we ever talked about. Like, hey, we don't win a championship, it's not a good season.
right. In the semis, y'all beat Madrid, and I'll
Hmm.
never. I don't think I'll ever forget that game because I always question why Nocioni didn't play. He didn't even dress in that game, and
Mm.
why Felipe Reyes didn't even come off the bench while I was sitting there, commentating the game, watching Jan and
Udo,
Udo. I was just
switch.
watching them go crazy, the two of them. And I'm
Woo.
sitting, and I'll never forget looking at Madrid's bench, going, man, where did that go wrong? I mean, but y'all dominated that game. It's 84-75 final score, but to me, it felt like there was no doubt who was going to win that game.
Yeah, we controlled the game. We definitely controlled that game. Yeah, playing with those two guys on the switch is like, yeah, all right, you're gonna attack Jan or you're gonna attack Ep. It's not gonna happen. It's like not
Yeah.
gonna. It's tough. They're great defenders.
Yeah, that was just an interior combo, man. It was just they were so and they played so well together too,
Hmm.
because
Yep.
Jan ended up, I don't know where he developed that little 10-12 foot shot from the elbow from, but I love watching him shoot that shot, man.
It
He,
was
the
because
poor guy couldn't make
Obra.
he couldn't make a foul shot to save his life, but he'll stick that jumper all day long.
Yeah, his 10 to 15 footer is money.
It's money, man, and it's like line drive too.
But Obra made him work on that shot. Like during practice, we have to shoot our 50 and 10, 50 shots, 10 free throws each side.
Right.
He would have him just working on that
Yeah, man.
elbow.
I mean, it's just repetitive nature, man. If you do it enough times, you're gonna get it.
Yeah,
And
and
then
he
the
he
and
got
the
it.
and the final, you guys control too, man. The championship against the Olympiacos. To me, I've been around now doing Final Four since 2013, I think, something like
Hmm.
that. And that was the most dominant Final Four I think I've seen from a team. Just there were no y'all left like no doors open for surprises, no
Hmm.
nothing. You guys just looked like when you got there you were winning it easily.
Home court advantage helped for
Well,
sure.
yeah, yeah. I mean, no doubt that helps. But I mean, so it wasn't home court advantage, so to speak. But you had all your
Yeah,
people there.
we had everybody there.
Yeah, yeah. It was
But
incredible, man.
it was like having great players. That's what they do. They close out games, and the first play of the game was a oop off the tip,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's right.
reverse. Jan Vesely reverse from
That's right.
from Ep. That was crazy. That was nuts. Like
How
to
much? How
start the
much?
game off that way.
That I mean, that's that, and that was like that wasn't a setup play, was it? That was
It was a
just,
setup. It was a setup. It was a setup play.
but for an alley oop, not
It was set up for the oop. Yeah, it's set
yeah,
up
but
for the
not
oop.
yeah, but not a reverse dunk like that. I think
Oh man, well
he made it a little bit
y'all
more
got that.
special.
Oh man, that's Vesely Airlines right there.
That was crazy. And what's it like, man? I mean, like it's got to be surreal because you won that Final Four, then you go on to win the Turkish airline, you win the
Turkish League.
Turkish league also. But I mean, winning that European Championship, I mean, dude, I'm picturing you like in the locker room, just like holding on to the cup, you know what I mean, a little bit, doing your thing, drinking a little champagne, and just thinking about being in Greece and not getting paid, and
Man,
being in the summer league, and I did it. To me, it's just a great story.
yeah. Once we won that championship, I forgot everything in the past. I was like, man, this is like a great moment. Like when because you don't get to experience that type of stuff and like that type of win. That's like winning the NBA championship.
Yeah,
That's the equivalent of winning the NBA championship in Europe.
yeah. And it's more difficult to win the championship here than it is there, because usually with 7 game series, the better team wins.
Yep.
It's very rare that the better team doesn't win in the NBA. Here, it's like it's always a surprise. So now the hardest thing to do in the EuroLeague, although it's happened a couple of years ago with Ephes, is repeat. And you get the 2017-18 league coming up. And I mean, you had some good performances. I mean, you're money from 3 points. I mean, at one point for the season, you're 59%. That's sick, dude. Let's go. Let me go 59.5 to be exact.
That's crazy.
If I was studying for a game, I would have probably just put you up to 60% just for the hell of it, just to make it sound.
Just round it up. We were rounded.
But dude, 44 for 74 from three. And
man,
as a 3-point shooter, I got to believe you attribute that to all the players around you, because someone's got to be left open because of all the guys you got going to the basket and you setting up your shot. You get a better look at the basket. You don't get many of those. I know 3-point shooters hate that ball when you get it 5 seconds left and you got to take a dribble left, right, and fade away.
Man. I mean, like 5 seconds, I'm cool with that. 5 seconds, I'm good. I'm good with that. I can make something happen. 2, 3, 2 ones, those are the toughest ones. You just gotta throw a bomb. But like I had, like, as you said, like I had a squad around me, like, and that was the second year. Bobby Dixon, Kostas Slukas, Gigi,
right,
Nicolo Melli, Brad Wanamaker, Jason Thompson, like Kalinic, like Vesley, like we had the same guys, Guduric is on the team as well too. So like,
Guduric signed that year because Bogdanovic left.
Yep, we had guys who were unselfish. Just the best shot. Gigi was shooting the hell out of the ball too that season. We had the best.
You make it sound like Gigi couldn't shoot.
Nah, he was like shooting up. Like I was like, man, he's 50. He's shooting 52. Like we had it was crazy. We had a squad, man. And I'm fortunate to play with like a lot of those guys.
Dude, I hate to bring this part up, but as I always talk about, the bad parts, the fall.
Oh,
the fall, man. I saw it years ago. Never really wanted to see it again. And when I started researching this, I had to watch it again. And it's a common thing that happens because of the momentum and the pace y'all run at, and when you don't, when you got all your momentum going forward and your legs are going forward and you just grab on that rim just that little bit, man, go through that with me, man. It's just like I know you don't remember like exactly what was going through your mind during the fall.
No, I remember. I'll tell you. I haven't told many people, but I was so upset at Obra for not playing me. He put me in like the end of the third quarter. The whole game I didn't play.
Oh, you didn't play the whole game?
The whole game until the end of the third, like the last 3 minutes of the third quarter. And I was sitting on the bench just fuming. I was like, what the fuck is going on? I was like, damn, why am I'm not gonna play? And I was just sitting there hot, fuming. And then he puts me in. And so I think like the first play I go in, I get a steal, I get a score, and then I get an assist, and I'm making things happen. We're down, and then that play comes. Brad, I think, gets a steal. He tosses it up. I was about to dunk it so hard one hand, and just look at and just stare coach down because I knew a timeout was coming. Like I should have been in. I should have been in, and it didn't go like that. So I was setting up my feet to dunk one hand. And I see Mbubois come and swipe at the ball last minute. So I pick the ball up, jump off the wrong foot, dunk it with 2 hands, and I didn't have enough. Like I jumped off the wrong foot, so I didn't get up, high enough, and I dunked it.
Grab onto the rim.
I couldn't grab onto the rim when I tried. And then once I dunked it, all I hear, like everything went quiet, and then I just heard a pop sound, and that's all I remember. I just heard like a pop, maybe from the rim. I don't know what it was, but everything was like quiet. And I remember waking up and going through the hospital doors. That's all I remember.
Really? Damn.
That's all I remember.
It's so crazy that you only broke your left hand.
Yeah, I broke my left hand, and I
know you had a concussion. Yeah.
and I had 9 brain hemorrhages. So like my brain was like had small is bleeding in
Okay.
9 different spots.
Okay. All right. I was going to say that. I mean, the reports that I heard, you only broke your left hand and had a minor concussion. I was like, man, it had to be more than that. But I
Yeah, it
mean,
was
you're
more than
lucky.
that.
You're lucky. There's no spinal or neck injuries more than anything else. That was
Wow. Yeah.
that. That was
I was fortunate, man. It was, and then I didn't want to watch it. I didn't want to watch the fall. People kept tagging me in it. You tag me in it, I'm blocking you. Like I didn't want to see it. Like why are you sending it? Why are you sending it to me? Like I lived it. So I avoided watching it for like a year, and I finally watched it.
was
And then
was was your wife watching the game?
my wife, my wife, my wife, and my daughters, were at the game.
Oh,
And then
they're
we had
okay.
our like, yep,
They
we had
were
our
at the
nanny.
game.
They were at the game, yeah. So my wife, my neighbor, and like my nanny took our kids back to like our place, and my wife came with me in
To
the
the hospital.
ambulance
Right.
to the hospital. And then she said when we were driving to the hospital, I woke up and I tried to get back in the game.
You, you probably woke up yelling at Selko.
Yeah, I was probably mad at him. I having nightmares about him not playing me. But I tried to. She said you tried to wake up and get in the game, and the doctors grabbed you and like had to hold you down or whatever. And so I felt. I guess I passed back out, and then crazy.
And and what about rehabbing for that? I mean, left hand is one thing, but the hemorrhages and everything else. I mean, were there any moments where you started to think like, man, am I going to be the same player? Is it,
I was definitely like I was definitely like hesitant to like dunk the ball. I'll tell you that. Like still like sometimes I'll think of like, damn, do I have enough room or somebody around me? To this day, but
right,
like the rehab was okay. Like they didn't like they didn't force me to come back quick at all. They like, hey, take your
right.
time. I had to do so many like CT scans on my brain, and like for like a week or 2 weeks, about 2 weeks, I had to go to the doctors a lot before they would
Really?
even like consider letting me start the rehab process.
Okay. Damn.
And then by the third week, I played.
It's crazy, man. It's just like, I mean, you've been worse off like, twisting an ankle or blowing a knee out, than
Man, yeah,
one of the
than that.
scariest scenes I've ever seen, on the court. Is crazy. So
Yeah,
you got back in time to go to the Final Four again the next year, and that was going to be, I think that was in Serbia. That was going to be Selko's 10th title
yeah, it would
if
have been the
y'all
10th.
won that. Was that
Hmm.
talked about? Was the not only his 10th title but in his hometown?
I think there was definitely extra pressure on some of the other guys, especially like the Serbian players and stuff, and him to win that 10th championship in Serbia, in Belgrade. I mean, Bobby saved us the first game against Zalgiris.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I remember that.
He went on a
He went
tear in like
he went crazy.
5 minutes. Yeah, he went crazy in 5 minutes and just blew the game open. But the against Madrid, so like we showed up and then they showed up like in the hallways, and they were just like way more relaxed than us.
Right.
I see Campazzo holding the speaker, playing Spanish music or whatever he was playing. I was like, oh man, these dudes is relaxed. They made it a home game, so they played really more relaxed than us. So I was like, but we were like in the game the whole time, and then it was unfortunate that we lost that game.
So you got the great experience of winning the title one year, and then the next
Hmm.
year the absolutely worst experience of not winning it
Ah,
and going
so
to the final
disappointing.
game. What I
Disappointing.
mean, does it make you hungrier? Does it? I mean,
Uh, yeah, it made me hungry. I was really upset too because I didn't get to play a lot.
yeah, you had a
So
limited role, it said you know, from the stats
in
and
the final
everything.
four. Yeah, yeah. 4 minutes, I think, in the third quarter. No,
Again in the third
I
quarter.
was, yeah, exactly. Third, I was hot. I was so mad. I was so upset because, like, I think a month or 2 months before we beat Madrid in Madrid, and I played great. So
Yeah,
I was like, man,
I
why
think I
didn't I?
remember that game. Yeah.
I was like, why didn't I play this guy? I was like, I was just upset, but whatever. We lost, and then I think that was one of the reasons I decided to leave. And I got a contract with the Timberwolves. So,
With the T-Wolves, yeah.
hmm
And how was that for you?
I mean, it was cool. I wanted to be home.
Right.
Besides not playing, like the NBA is, it's, I mean, in some like some organizations, like you can't outplay who's getting paid more.
Right.
Like if they're
Yeah.
paying somebody, they're gonna play.
You can outplay him. You're just not gonna play more than
Yeah, exactly.
them.
You're not. You're not. Yeah, you can outplay. You could be the best shooter on the team. You can do all this, but
uh,
and they'll tell you like, hey, you're gonna play, but it doesn't work like that.
what about the Chinese experience in Shanghai?
Oh, it was cool. It was cool. Like I don't. It was all right. But I missed Europe. Even when I was there, like I missed like the competitiveness and like how every game matters in Europe.
Yeah.
I miss that. I miss that aspect of the game. But
It,
China wasn't bad.
it's such a crazy 3 words, isn't it? Every game matters, but it is so it's I mean there's no 3 words I've ever seen that fit to describe something better than
Wow,
that. I
every
mean,
game matters.
we use it obviously commentating all the time. Even every possession matters or whatever. We probably overuse it, but the every game matters is so cool because you lose 1 2 games in a row, man, and all of a sudden you look up, you're like, oh man, we're out of the playoff picture, or
Man, exactly. Yes, I know how
and,
that's how we feel right now.
yeah, exactly. I mean, you got to be
Hmm.
careful. If you slip up too much, I mean, you find yourself on the outside looking in no time at all. Especially if someone else makes a run. Someone
Yeah,
else,
exactly.
so you hear like a Baskonia wins 5 in a row. You're like, oh shit, Baskonia's won 5 in a row. We're in trouble.
Exactly. That's why the EuroLeague is so special. And being here with coach, like every possession matters for him.
Right,
So
of course.
and that helps me as a player, knowing that like, okay, I gotta be relied on, I gotta do my job, I gotta do what I'm supposed to do to help the team. Like you gotta do what you're supposed to do.
Is compare him, Fenerbahce Obradovic, to Partizan Obradovic.
Funny you say that. We last week, me and him had a talk, and I was like, "Man, you're way lighter than you were in Finner."
That see,
Here.
dude, that's what I think too. Like I see him
Hmm.
explode every now and then, but he doesn't have that same intensity that he used to have. I was like, man, did he have a health scare? Something happened?
He just targets it differently. He does it different. But I
That
think I think this he's adapted to like the new age of the game and the
a
new
lot. Yep.
players and stuff like that. So he's definitely adapted, and I definitely that's another thing I respect about how he does things. Like it's just not always the same thing.
Right.
He's trying to mix it up. He's trying to adapt to the players. You could talk to him, maybe not during the game right away, but you could definitely talk to him. Like you can come to him, tell him what's on your mind, and he'll listen. He'll try to change too.
You had some good times at Maccabi also. I love that city. I love Tel Aviv, man.
Oh, Israel, yeah, Tel Aviv, Israel's like I liked my time there. Like I like
I,
the city of Tel Aviv. It was cool, but
that's
the
about as much.
drama.
That's about as close as California you can get, right out here.
Oh,
I
that's
mean,
Cali.
that's how I've always felt about Tel Aviv. I always felt like I was in Cali.
It's definitely has some Cali vibes to it.
Right.
All the healthy food, the beach, the the vibe, the weather. It was cool. It was cool.
Uh, I love that city, man. One of my favorite. Let me get on to a little family life, man. I mean, you sound like You know, a lot of these guys I talk to are single or, you know, or whatever, you know. You've been like locked up and like tied down and like married with 3 kids for quite a while.
Yeah,
I mean, is
almost
that
10 years, almost.
almost 10 years? So most of your
Yep.
career, essentially. So your wife and kids have been with you everywhere. They travel with you everywhere you go?
Yeah, like especially like the early part, like they were with me for like the whole, pretty much whole seasons or half the seasons, where they'll come, leave, and then come back.
Right.
But now, my daughters and my son, they're in school. They
School
do
age, yeah.
gymnastics, soccer, acting. So it's kind of hard, and I want them to have their life. Like I want them to have their group of friends from
Right.
from childhood to adulthood. So we made that sacrifice. Like they can't stay here the whole year, but
Okay. Oh, so they're
but
more
I
back
love
home
having them
then.
here. Yeah, they're back home.
Okay. They're out for the holidays and all that.
Yeah, yep. They're
Okay.
here, and then they left, sadly.
Yeah, that it's not easy
Sacrifice,
sometimes.
man. Nah, it's not easy. It's
There's
like,
a lot of times you come home and you're glad they're not there. You know,
man.
you just like, but most of the time you come home and it's like, you know, it's just a little bit lonely, you know, knowing. But y'all got
Man,
FaceTime and all that other good stuff now, man.
I know, but it's like, they're small, like they're younger, so I'm missing like all their, accomplishments, achievements,
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah. I know.
just like the small everyday things that, that I want to be around for, like school
Yeah,
drop-offs, making breakfast in the morning, helping them get ready. Like those are
yeah.
the things I really miss. And a lot of people, don't understand about like the sacrifice as players
I
like we have with families.
My kids are older now. My kids are in their 30s, man. But and I said that when I got done playing, I couldn't wait to do the school drop off. Everything that got old after 3 months, my man.
Oh man, I'm gonna have a lot of time to do it.
I'm not
I know I'm
gonna
gonna have.
I'm not gonna lie to you. It gets a little bit old after a while. Like, man, this is a lot harder than I thought it used to be.
Oh man,
But
yeah, exactly. Shout out to my wife, man.
they're they're amazing,
She's
man.
doing
I
everything by
mean,
herself. Yeah.
and they have to deal with us as players, which is not an easy task.
No, it's not easy. The emotions,
The
like
losses,
the
well,
losses,
yeah,
attitude, like it's hard.
I used to say all the time back in the day when I was playing, it's like, you know, the losses were difficult for him because I come home and just not want to talk to anybody. I'd be pissed at the world. And when
Hmm.
we won, I just wanted to go out and party with my boys.
Exactly.
So
Leaving them
there's
there.
like there's always that tough little, you know, thing. How come all your kids are named with the J? Your
Oh,
family's the
that's
same
the
way. Is that a
my
Nunnally
wife
thing?
is yeah, everybody's Jay. My wife's a Jay, and all my kids are Jays. So
But your brother's what's your brother's name?
Michael.
Oh, okay. Your brother's name's Michael. Okay,
Yeah.
I thought your brother's. I thought you got it from your family, but
Oh no, 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 no.
that's your wife's. So you got Jen, James,
James,
Jalen, Jade, no, Jalen,
Jordan.
Jade, Jordan, Grace,
Yep.
and then of course James Jr. You got to get James Jr. in, right? You
Had to.
you waited a long time for James Jr.
We had to save the best for last.
Is that the word? Is that the last one?
From my end, yeah, that's the last one.
Yeah.
Maybe my wife wants another.
Tell Jen not to watch this then.
I'm down.
I'm
I'm down for whatever, man. But
Ooh,
it's
four's
all
rough
good.
though. I got 3. That's good enough for me, man. Believe me, the work doesn't go away when they get older. I'll let you know that for sure.
Ooh,
It
yeah,
doesn't go
I'm
away.
sure. I'm
Hey,
sure, man.
let's bust out this EuroLeague test time. I think they went easy on you, to be honest with you. All right, here we go. Question number 1 worth 10 points. James Nunnally is on the clock, baby. I think he's going to take this one. Which team won the 2017 Final Four?
Fenerbahce. Oh man,
I've had easier ones miss. Believe me, I've had
that's
easier
definitely
ones miss.
easy.
Yeah, when they start out missing the 10-pointer, I'm like, oh man, I don't know if I want to keep going through this now. All right, which coach has the most titles in the EuroLeague era?
Zeljko Obradovic.
All right. You got that. It says which coach. And I ask you how many. He's got 5 in the EuroLeague era. He's got 9 total, supposedly. I always argue that one. I'll talk to you about that some other day. Because I got a scoring title. I got a scoring title. They don't count, but they count all his. They count all his titles.
They count all his stuff, huh?
Yeah, but my 63 points don't go nowhere. The number 3, 30 points. You got 30 right now. This is with another 30. Which 2 players won the most titles in the EuroLeague era? EuroLeague era meaning from the year 2000 to today. Which 2 players have won the most titles in the EuroLeague era?
Is it Rudy Fernandez and Sergio Llull? Or
Nope.
Kostas Lukas?
Dang, you're 0 for 3 so far.
Damn. Who won? It had to be 3.
There's 2. Kyle Hines.
Oh, Kyle Hines. Oh, no.
And Sardas Jasikevičius. They've each
3.
won 4.
Oh, they were at 4.
They've each won 4, yeah.
Oh, damn. Okay.
I would have.
I know those other 3 have 3.
Yeah, I knew Kyle, but I wasn't so sure about Sardas. I would have thought Sardas had 3 also, but. All right, number 4. Here we go. This is a big one. It's a 40-pointer. You got 30 already. When was the last time Partizan reached the Final Four?
2012.
Ah, you're killing me.
2010?
Yeah, but I can't accept that one now.
Oh no, I had it wrong because Vesely told me about this. Oh man, and the picture's up on the. I just looked at the picture. I thought it was 2012.
I was going to say, man, I'm like, he's got to get this one right?
Oh no, I'm sorry, Partizan fans.
2010,
I'm sorry.
2010 Final Four in Paris. They lost in the semifinals to Olympiacos and the 3rd place game, which you haven't played yet. We can't really talk about that though.
Didn't they cut that game out?
Oh hell no!
Oh, they didn't cut it out. Oh no.
This part's gonna get cut out too, but if it was up to me, it would have been cut out years and years ago. I played. It ain't fun. All right, here you go. So you got 30, but you got a chance at 80 points here with a 50-pointer on number 5. Apart from Partizan, you played for Maccabi, Milan, and Fenerbahce during your career. Which other 2 players also played for these 2 clubs?
For those 2 clubs or 3?
No, for all the clubs. All the clubs. Which 2 players have also played for these clubs?
Which 2 players? Only 2.
Only 2 players, man. Yeah, this is a tough one. I'm not gonna lie to you. This is the one I didn't think you were gonna get.
Which one? So I know Fener and Maccabi. I know 2 people who play for Fener.
Maccabi, Milan, Fener, and Partizan. No, apart from Partizan, my bad. Let me get this right.
No
apart
Partizan,
from Partizan,
so those
you
3.
played for Maccabi, Milan, and Fenerbahce. 3 teams. So there's 2 players that have played for those 3 teams also.
Damn, who did I follow? Who did I follow in their footsteps? Damn. Maccabi, Milan. Oh, man. I want to take a guess. I say Devin Smith. And Marcus Green? I don't know.
But what was the old Prices Right thing?
Oh, man, I'm bad. Damn, I'm disappointed myself.
Hey, this is a tough one. This is a tough. I would never even.
Who was it?
Ricky Hickman and Andrew Goudak.
Damn, we did play for this. I knew it. I remember those guys too.
I remember Ricky. I don't remember Andrew playing for all 3 of those teams though.
No, Goudak did. I remember Goudak playing for all 3.
Yeah,
I played against him in Maccabi and in Milan.
Right, he was from Charleston, right? He went to Charleston, University of Charleston, I think.
The Mini Mamba. He played for the Lakers with Kobe.
They played for the Lakers, exactly. Yeah, he got
Yeah.
drafted from Charleston to the Lakers, exactly. Mini Mamba. There was a lot of Mini Mambas out there though. They wanted to pretend.
But he was cold though.
He was. He could shoot. He could shoot.
Oh man, he could score too. Yeah, he's definitely one of them ones.
Number 1 player all time for you
In EuroLeague or all time?
All time.
Kobe.
Kobe.
Kobe's my
over
number one player.
over MJ.
Yes, because Kobe's like my era. That's who I grew up on. Like, okay,
Okay,
I was born in the '90s, but I didn't really gravitate towards MJ. Like, it was Kobe.
right. Okay, I love it. Kobe's my boy. But I mean, I met Kobe in Dubai, man. When we went and did a little clinic together, and he was like the coolest dude ever, man. He's just and man, could he play? Can he, I'm a Mike guy all day long,
Of course,
but
yeah,
but
yeah. I get it.
yeah, but I'm a bit, I'm not saying no to either one of them. That's for sure.
1A and 1B, they're just up there
Exactly. My
for
man
me.
James, dude, we talked about this last year before the Partizan playoff to get there to do this, man. And honestly, it's been a pleasure, dude. You came in with a great attitude. I know last week we were supposed to do it, but we had some things that happened. But
Yep,
I would have rather canceled and done this today and enjoy the conversation with you, man. Enjoy the moment. And next time you
man.
come to Madrid or next time I go to Belgrade, we'll sit down and have that beer. We'll talk a little bit more in depth.
Yep, I got you, man. Thank you for having me on. I appreciate it, Joe.
All right, my man. We're gonna love it. I'm gonna love this interview, man. This podcast is gonna be great. Thanks, James.
Yes,
Appreciate it,
sir.
brother.
Yes, sir.
Later.
Have a good one.
You too.